That's correct, and I'll show you how easy this thing fillets when you do that. Because what a lot of people don't know is these intersections right here, if you build this as a cylinder, you build this one as a cylinder and this one as a cylinder, and you try and put these ribs in there, the issue is if you go to build that rib in the side view, it's going to look like this, right? You're going to build something like that, and you're going to try and make a pad out of it, and then you're going to union it into the part, or assemble it into the part, add it into the part. The issue is if you're right here at this center of this, and you're line to line, when you push that in both directions, you're not on the curve anymore. You're off the edge, right? Because you've taken the high point and you're pushing it in one direction or the other. When you do this as a revolve, everything's continuous, and this shape comes around you. And actually, if you ever look at a part like this, you'll see, I've seen some parts that were cast that had ribs on them like this, and you can see where somebody had gone in and they actually used that methodology of doing something that was straight. So in the casting tool, they would have had something that was straight, because you can see where it kind of overhangs the edge, and somebody came back in and ground it off. So what I'm saying is, if you do a sketch like this to do those as pads, when you look at it in the plan view, that little piece that you put in there, when you push it in both directions, it's going to overhang the solid. So then when you have to go in and put your fillet in, it's going to say, well, you got a gap here. What's going on? I can't put a fillet in there. So I want to show you. So if we did this as using the shaft command, how would we get rid of this stuff in here?
Draw a sketch in the top view and make a pocket out of it.
Yep. Yeah, so, and you can do it all in one. I mean, you could do one of them and then turn it 120 degrees, but it's easier because what you gotta do too is in the plan view, it's a little bit tricky because you have to know where 120 degrees is, and then you gotta offset these 6 millimeters. So you have to know what the sketches need to look like in that part. So, and remember, if you say, okay, what's the easiest way to construct this? Well, this is my biggest body right here. And if I delete this, and I hide that, there's the biggest body. Now, one trick on this is, once you build this shape, you have to, before you go out of it, you have to put two fillets on here, one here and one here, and I'll show you why. So there's the shape, right? And here's the pockets. Let me show you what the sketch looks like for those. So this is the part that this is the part that a lot of people struggle with. But if you think about it as simple geometry, plan view, you're looking straight down at the top. You're using this as your center. You have one line going straight up, and then these are 120 degrees, and then these are offsets of 6 millimeters. So if you put a element in here, reference element, and you offset it 3 mils on each side, that'll give you that piece. And then you have to, this is the undercut on the bottom of the part. I think it's 48, is it 48 in diameter? .44 in diameter. So there's the undercut on the part, because what you're looking at here is it's going, you're building this pad or this pocket underneath that top edge. Because when you subtract it out, it gives you the right value for that diameter. So once again, simple shapes, it gives you what you need on the part, and then, let me show you when I exit this, the way it's gotta be built. So it's hard to see like this. Kind of see what it's doing there. So your pocket, although I'm at the center of a rib, your pocket, that's all your pockets, and this is what they're going to subtract out. So when you go in to build this, let me show you how easy this fillets. So I'm going to say define work object. You hit the control key and hit both of these. I'm going to say, all right. Well, this thing, it did come across as a hybrid because it won't let me do anything with it. Let me see if I can pull this apart. It won't let me assemble, but I have one that is. Let's see. There we go. So there's the assemble with both parts. Now, like I said before, the first fillet that you can barely see right here and barely see right here, it was up in this body. So there it is. Now, I'm going to go back and define in work object this, and then I'm going to start putting the other fillets in. And on this part, these are 1mm fillets as well. When I look at this, the first thing I know is I'm going to have fillets that are going up this direction, and I'm going to have fillets up going up here. There's going to be one down here at the bottom that transitions into this. It'll turn, it'll come around here, and it'll turn. So that tells me I should probably do these two verticals. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, where do I start? Well, it's either horizontal or vertical, and you can't, depending on the geometry of the part. So I put those two in, and I'm going to look at underneath here, because what that did is it defined, when I did these two verticals, it defined the track, or the last fillet for this one up here. So I'm going to put that one in. And that gives me that tie-in with all that. And then I'm going to do the one down here at the bottom. And if I look at it, that's what I wanted it to do. Now, I've got all, so if I look at this, and the way CATIA fillets apart is, it looks at each edge, and it says, okay, I either have a face there, or I have another radius. Well, all these interfaces, other than, so what you're looking at here is all these interfaces. So this interface here is, it's looking at a face, okay? When it gets down here, it says, oh, I'm looking at a fillet and I'm looking at another fillet. I need to blend those together. When it comes over here, it says, I'm looking at a fillet here and this fillet, and I gotta blend that together. It comes up this edge and says, okay, this is gonna be another, just an edge blend. But when I get up to the top, I've got to do something here, because if you look, there's the fillet that's at the top that was on the original base, or the part that you use the shaft command to revolve. So now if I go in here and I pick this edge,
if you look at it, it says, oh, well, you are connected all the way around, and that's fine. That's what I'm looking for. If I get a gap in there, I know something's probably not right with the geometry. So I'm gonna say okay, and sure enough, it ties everything together because it looks at the faces versus the edge blends that are there, and it completes the fillet all the way around that racetrack. Now, if you build that with 3 cylinders and then 3 ribs, good luck putting fillets on it. You'll get them on there eventually, but it'll take a long time. Same thing with this side, the verticals are first. And then this one goes underneath. And this one completes the one on the base. And then that one does that rung of the part. Looks like I got 4 of them lit up here. Back out on this. And then once again, this one at the end. Yeah, for some reason you get separation here, or if it abruptly ends, you probably don't have this edge fillet on early in the part. So if you look at the tree now, and then, you know, you can either do the holes before the edge fillets, but just remember now they're at the bottom. So all the ancillary features go down as close as you can to the bottom. You don't put them up early in the tree. So that's how you build that part. I'm going to give you the bracket drawing, the column collar, and the stem support. Questions on this one? Any questions on the column collar? That was the other part in here. It was built sketch by sketch on the respective views of the part. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this in D2L. Put the actual drawings in there.